The Art of Waiting, a brand new series. Over the next 6 to 7 weeks or so, we're going to be unpacking what it means to wait. So, what are middle schoolers and high schoolers waiting for? We are waiting for Wi-Fi to connect, waiting for your phone to charge, waiting for your sibling to get out of the bathroom. What about waiting for summer break? This one's kind of interesting. Waiting for someone to text you back, or waiting for somebody to text first. Waiting for the friend who said, I'm on the way, but hasn't left the house yet. Waiting for an Amazon package that just shipped 5 minutes ago. Just refresh, close the app, reopen it, refresh. Yeah, okay. Now, I'm going to read another list, but these are a little bit more serious examples. But maybe just think to yourself, is this me? Some of us are waiting to grow up. We're longing for the next phase of life, wanting to be an adult. Maybe you're waiting for a family situation to change. Maybe you're waiting to hear from God, right? Waiting to hear from him in a way that makes sense to you, where you hear him and you're like, okay, I think God is actually real. So all that to say, I think that it's very clear that all of us are always in a season of waiting, some shape, some form, somehow. There's always going to be something that you're waiting for next. So for us, one thing that we need to learn is that we're not going to outgrow the waiting. We're never going to outrun it. So how do we wait well? Our culture is in a ruthless pursuit to eliminate all waiting that is possible. The world looks at waiting and sees it as a waste. But what I actually want to introduce you guys is that waiting is not just something that God values, but it is one of his favorite tools for shaping us into who we're meant to be. The title for today's message is Waiting is an Invitation to Trust. Waiting is difficult. And I want to just simply say that as plainly as possible, because for each one of us, I may not know your specific situation, but I know that that waiting is difficult no matter what. Waiting reveals to us that we are not content with our current situation, but that we are actually longing for a different situation. We're longing for a different place in our life. There's a destination that we desire to be at and that we have not yet arrived. Because when I read this verse, it says, we wait and hope for the Lord, and he is our help and our shield. In him our hearts rejoice, for we trust in his holy name. May your unfailing love be with us, Lord, even as we put our hope in you. And I say, that sounds awesome, Lord, but how do I get to that point? How do I arrive to this conclusion where, God, I want to put my hope, my faith, my trust in you, but right now it feels too hard. Waiting is living on what I know to be true about God, even when I don't know what's true about my life. Meaning when everything around you is uncertain, or your future is uncertain, your career is uncertain, your college plans are uncertain, that does not mean that God is not who he says he is. And so there's an invitation to trust him and to trust his character in that moment. The next thing I want us to take from this passage is to this: learn to fear God. Learn to fear God. Now, that sounds a little bit weird, doesn't it? Why do we, if God is a loving God and if God is our Father, why do we need to fear him? Let me clarify. We do not need to be afraid of him. But when we speak of fearing the Lord, it is simply this. It is to revere him. It is to hold God in the highest regard. It's like a sense of deep respect. Deep respect, to hold him sacred, set apart, to see God in his power and his awesomeness. So to fear God is to acknowledge who he is. He's not a figment of imagination, nor is he distant or uninvolved, but that he is who he says he is. And in order for us to truly grasp who he says he is, we have to read his word. All of this keeps coming back to Scripture, because Scripture gives us the character of who God is. So learn to fear God. And lastly, verse 20, now we finally come to this place where it says, we wait and hope for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. In him our hearts rejoice, for we trust in his holy name. We what? We trust in his holy name. May your unfailing love be with us, Lord, even as we put our hope in you. So what does this mean for us, friends? Here's the main thing I want you to take away from today. Waiting on God is trusting that he is who he says he is. And my friends, no matter how crazy it gets, no matter how difficult it gets, no matter how uncertain things may be, we trust him because we believe who he says he is. That even when it's not good, he's going to make it good. And even if it doesn't turn out the way we think it should, he's going to work all things for our good.